Not your average tabletop. Woohoo!
Welcome to Not Your Average Tabletop. I'm Zach.
And I'm Pepper.
And today we're giving our first impressions of Portals. Couldn't remember if it was an S. It says Portal or Portals. But we are doing Portals, not Portal. There might be some games called that. But yeah, this is one that I would say maybe intrigued us from the cover.
Yes,
when it was in the Dice Tower Best Covers Award. Maybe you saw it before
especially. Yes, I did, because we filmed a video before that.
Oh yeah, we did. Spoilers, we filmed a video. That's been released a long time. That is true, you did bring that up.
And this one I think was, I don't know if I put it in order, but probably my number one just based on the cover itself, which I would say in my top 10 favorite covers, board game covers.
It is a very solid cover.
Really love it, and it deserved to be in the top tier of the Dice Tower cover vote.
Mm-hmm.
So, happy about that.
I would agree. You are right. You did have that in yours, but I think I saw the cover and I thought, oh, that's cool. And then I saw the game, or I think we looked at some pictures of the actual game, and I was like, I don't know how this is connected to this cover, but okay, I guess. Still looks good, but definitely abstracty, like you said.
Yes.
But yeah, so this one, I'm guessing you were probably a little bit more excited than I was.
Please,
just because
abstract behind the cover.
Just because, there's abstract that I like, but really at the end of the day, a lot of them are abstract. A lot of the games, but this one, once you start just getting pieces and it's like grid boards and you put them on there, it's like, okay, this feels very abstract.
I'm going through portals.
Yes. But yeah, in this one, it's kind of a drafting game a little bit where you are drafting these cards which have kind of patterns on them, and then drafting different kind of tile things, circular tiles that go onto those patterns.
Awesome plastic bits. Like
those are pretty
cool type tiles, but they're kind of circle, chunky, awesome, colorful.
Yes, and you can see our unboxing video if you want to see all the stuff in there. We'll have that dropping alongside this so you can see everything inside the box. But yeah, those are very cool, and then you'll be placing those on those pattern cards that you've drafted, which have spots that they go into, and the patterns you're trying to build on there are based off of these boards that are between each player and kind of between two castles, the Mad King Ludwig, between two cities kind of feel, where you're kind of working on two, and then other players are working
on. You can place on those two, they can place on those two, and they can place on those two. So you're sharing one with, at least in a 3-player game, with every other player. I thought that was really cool, and it's the same for drafting those plastic pieces. There's a pool of them between each of you, and so you know what they have access to, what they have access to, and then what you do and where they're going to want to place. And so kind of it's interesting trying to look what's out there and see what order you have to draft those pieces.
Yes, I do like that quite a bit, making that decision of, okay, they've got a lot of access to green, so they're probably not going to take this green one, so I can focus on this first because I maybe need a green and a blue or whatever by the end. But yeah, I like that part quite a bit, and then kind of the building up of the cards to try to fit the patterns on there, and then when you're doing that, you're trying to either the cards that you're drafting have either 2, 3, or 4 spots that you're filling in with those, and then at the end of drafting kind of 6 times during a turn, then any completed cards you will put out onto one of the 2 boards you get to choose, and the order is based on these cards have numbers on them.
Kind of like 1 through 30 or whatever, how many cards there are. So the ones that are harder to fill, which would be the ones with 4 tokens on them, get to go first, and the ones that are easier to fill with just 2 would go last.
Yes.
It definitely should be, because there's a lot more work put into that, and it's definitely more, it needs a perfect spot to go, preferably. You can place it anywhere, but definitely probably have something in mind. Then if you match the colors to the colored spots on the board, which you don't have to, then you get to get points based on how many you match. So I think if you match 1, it's 1 point, 2, it's 2, I think 3 is 4, and 4 is 6 points. So it can be quite large amounts of points. It's not a huge scoring game, but it's probably an average scoring game. So if you can get some of those 4s filled and get 6 points multiple times in a game, that's going to be
Pretty
pretty good. But then again, the other way of scoring is to score points for adjacent stones already present that match those colored stones that you just placed. So then that's one where maybe the small ones are a lot easier. You can get into these tight spots, which you can place tokens where tokens already are.
You just don't score anything.
You just don't score anything with that token you couldn't place. But yeah, so that's another one where you can maybe complete a lot of different ones, place out single or double tokens, and get, like there was an orange where I scored like 5 points because it was just completely surrounded, and that can be just as satisfying, just as many points.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, you have to just watch out for kind of those spots potentially popping up. Because depending on your pattern and stuff, you still have to complete the card in order to play it. So even if you're not filling in a space, you still have to have the tokens to fill the card itself. You can't just choose to place a single one just to complete it and get a certain color there, which I like how that worked quite a bit. And in this one, diagonals count as well, which is good.
Really good.
I think that makes it a little bit juicier for that type of scoring. For sure. But yeah, I would say after this first play and kind of going through that, I liked the game. I don't know if it was my favorite. I think it had some cool... I do like the drafting and stuff and working on the boards, but I felt like the last round was kind of like both the boards were feeling pretty full at that point. And it was like, I can fill it in, but I don't really have many matching, because there might not be a juicy spot. It might just be like, okay, well, I can place this, but I can't, complete it. So I can maybe get 1 point from matching where I place it, then maybe an additional one for a match or something. I think you scored those big chunks, and that was pretty late in the game, I guess. So if you do have those opportunities, that can be big. But if you don't, it does feel like it's kind of point heavy on the front end of the game. So if you kind of don't get those big ones early, you might fall too far behind to make it up, unless there's something like that set up. But then you have to hope your opponent doesn't spill it first.
I think that maybe kind of with more plays, you do place over other tiles.
That's true.
If parts of your tile don't score you any points, you might just not orient it in a way so that those actually don't get placed.
That's true.
Which could be better. Possibly
might just
to
be how
stop
you're
your
playing
opponents from then doing that. It just feels natural to try to place all of your tokens.
Yeah, that's true.
So I could see with more plays possibly the board being more open later in the game.
Yeah, that is fair. And yeah, it added another element to it. I think if you did place tokens on top of other tokens, if they matched that token, and then they still kind of counted towards scoring, I think that would maybe add another level for me. I would like that, I think, a little bit. But I think overall...
But then you could just place completely over already placed tokens, and that...
That's true, but you'd still be stacking them. It'd leave other things open for other use as well. But yeah, I get why it is the way that it is. But I would say this one for me is probably coming in after one play, which definitely could change. Probably around a 6.75, maybe getting up to a 7. It's quick. I do like that about it as well. You're just kind of quickly picking the tiles, but there's just something satisfying about matching a bunch of stuff on the board for me. That, like you said, that's kind of how we played it, but like you said, with more plays, you might play it differently and place over. Just the way my brain works, that gives me the most satisfaction. And it just happens to likely be the way to make the most points when you get a set of 4 matching completely. But,
I'm coming in quite a bit higher here. A bit disappointed with that 6 there. But I was very excited about this one, and I wasn't disappointed. Maybe I'm just too excited because it was a good game behind it that I was really hoping it would be, and it does give me feelings of Azul, kind of as you're building up these things.
I think that is the hard part.
I think, you're probably...
I'm probably thinking of Azul, and I'm like, I really love Azul.
So you would prefer that.
Yes.
I'm probably giving this one 9.25.
Oh, wow.
I think I really enjoyed it. I think it's a phenomenal production. Even the boards, which when I saw pictures of them, I'm like, oh, those boards don't look that great. When I saw them in person, I'm like, I really like the colors, and I really like the design, so I can't find any flaw with the production, and I really like the gameplay. If you told me this was in the Azul line of games, I could maybe believe you, especially now that they've branched out and have done some different things.
Yeah.
I feel like if you like that, this is a game that I would recommend checking out.
Yeah, I would look into it. There are some similarities, and yeah, I think it's just the base game of Azul is just very, very solid, especially for me, and I would say it does not replace it for me.
Yeah.
But if you do like it, I would definitely at least look into this one, check it out, see if it's for something for you, because Pepper definitely likes it quite a bit. But it's not that I hate it.
Yeah.
6.75 isn't bad.
Yeah.
It's just one that
Yeah, you're right.
I'm probably one. I'm not gonna necessarily always gonna be the one saying, "Oh, let's play Portals," but I will play it.
Yeah.
So. Check out our unboxing video, this one. If you like the video, definitely give us a thumbs up and subscribe. We definitely appreciate any of that. Otherwise, we hope to see you on other videos. And as always, don't forget to
Keep on nibbling
on our content.